So in this project, we're going to create sort of a salutation, hello, kind of who you are, that kind of information. So I'll scroll down here and we'll talk about what this means in a second, but let's go over what's the first thing that we need. We need something that's going to start the application, which is basically what's considered our entry point. And this is it right here. This is the template. Now, what you need to understand for an entry point is you need this annotation. If you don't know what an annotation is, don't worry. Just think of it as an @ sign. And somebody has created this for you. You just have to plug it in there and it should work. Okay? And we're going to get this portion right here. So what I want you to do here in this example, I will right click here and I'll say new. And I want you to create a class. But that class must be in a package. Okay, so the package again I'm using is JBB Web Solutions. Again, the name of the class, I'm going to call it underscore application. You know, just to keep it short, I'll call it underscore app. The name doesn't really matter. It must have a public static void main. Click on finish. And let's look at the example here. So notice here they have this SpringBoot application. This is associated to the class. So I will copy this code right here and put it right there. This will complain because this is associated with classes and it can't find the classes. So what you must do in Java is you must import this class. Note, if you spell it wrong, it will complain. And of course I made another mistake. This belongs to the class level. So location is important. I'll do Control-Shift-F just to format it. And when I say format it, it formats my code. Okay, and then you need this portion right here to run it. I'll get over the to-do part. And this Spring application, this is a class that's out there which you also need to import. This is the name of the class that you're physically in right now, which is what we call underscore app. This args is this variable right here. This is just in case you wanted to get data from the outside world. You could pass it into this application. So this is what's called our driver. This is the first thing that's going to run when we run an application. Number one. Okay, now this is not enough. This will run it, but you need like a physical URL to run. So what they're explaining here in this demo, if I can go back up, they call it a controller. So let me go back here and look for the word controller somewhere. And again, you don't have to understand all this code right now. And understand for now, you're going to need, this is the main part. It's called a REST controller. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to create another class. And the name doesn't even matter, but I will call it I'll call it developer. Developer info controller. You're the developer. This does not need a public static void main. Let's click on finish. And looking at this example, you need a REST controller. Same thing here. This is associated to a class. Move your mouse over it. Please go slow and import the class needed. And again, when you're looking at the code, analyze it. Notice that it's associated to the class. Now we need a URL. And for now, let's go over this getting example. I'm going to copy it for now. And let's paste it into my code. And here, get mapping, oops, sorry. This is going to be associated with a regular function. So I'm going to say here, public. Let's make it return a string. We're going to say get full name. Let's call it that. I will make it return my name, Jean, period, Boulet. For this example, please separate your name by by a period. import get mapping. Okay, I want part of the URL to indicate what the topic is. And in this case, the topic is full name. Let's make it all lowercase for now. I think it is case sensitive when you do this. Now you have enough for a web app, or web resource, I should say. So let's try to see what happens. And again, I have to run the driver, which is the main. Let's right click here. Let's run as Java application. It's going to say, hey, you got a security alert. Allow it for now. Allow access. Okay, and look what this is saying. Okay, this is saying right now that I'm up and running and I'm on port 8080. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to go to a URL here. Let's type in localhost 8080 slash, forgot what the name was that we gave. I think we called it full name. And notice I have access to the full name. I want you to realize how powerful this is, meaning that I've given access to the entire world. Once I make, of course, my machine, I put it on the physical server, access to this resource. Again, right now it's just my name, but it could be some sort of complicated calculation needed by another program. And by us exposing it via HTTP, which is a standard protocol, any language can read this. It could be Ruby, it could be Java, another Java project, it could be Node.js, it could be PHP, it could be Python, but we've made this available to the world. Okay, with that, good luck and good coding. The last few steps that I did are lots of steps. What I tell developers when you first learn this, do this project, delete it, do it again. Keep doing that a couple of times. Once you're in class, then you'll have less mistakes that you can make, and we can go faster in the class. Okay, with that, good luck and good coding.